let us rain some doom down upon the filthy heads of our doomed enemies.
Okay, I'm going to show you how to connect to a server using VNC and using BitVice. If you go to our website, hiragameplayer.com, on file area, apps, it opens up, and here's some of the apps that we need: BitVice SSH client, and then the VNC viewer, 64-bit or 32-bit. The BitVice SSH client will only work if you're connecting to a Linux server. If you're using a Windows server, there's going to be a little bit of a workaround, and possibly we can install an FTP server on there using XAMPP in the FileZilla. But to use the VNC viewer, the first thing you're going to need to do is know which server you're going to connect to. So if we go home, and this is our post, I'm going to have a link to it up above that shows you the servers and which one. So like I'm going to connect to this one right here and show you the Arma 3 server. This is a Linux server, Windows 2003, Linux, Windows 2008. So once you download the VNC server from the up here, file area apps, it'll be down here, and just click. Nope, I don't need that. Because that's already connected. Okay. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. It comes up with this little window right here, and you need to type in the server of the VNC. And the VNC has a server IP and a port. The Windows servers do not use the actual domain name for some reason. They have a different VNC server, so they will be listed down here too. I'm gonna write those down right here, what port to connect to for VNC and for BitVice. But anyways, I'm gonna connect to this one right here, which is 1.ir server, and I've already connected to it, so it's in my list, and it's 1.irserver.com:1. That's the port number, and you just hit connect. Then it asks you for the password to log on, which will be emailed to you, and it connects directly to the server. The first time you'll have a little warning saying that it's not encrypted. Just hit OK. And if you're connecting to a Windows server, you might have to hit Control-Alt-Delete to log in. If you go up here, there's a little thing to open up a new connection, save your connection, close, options, full screen, and here it is. It sends Control-Alt-Delete. Windows servers, you have to hit Control-Alt-Delete to enter the login screen, and that's what you press. You press that button right there, and it sends Control-Alt-Delete to the server, and then you type in the password again. So right here, I got the web browser, and this runs kind of just like Windows. I don't have a lot installed on here because we're trying to keep it running as little as possible so that there's more resources for the server. But down here in your little taskbar, we have the file manager. We have, let's see, what's this? That's your web browser, which is right there. And this is a command prompt. You're going to use these command prompts a lot, these terminals. That's part of Windows, or Linux is part of Linux Life. And you can open up the command prompt down here. This is our file editor, gedit. Oops. And let's see, what do we got here? Oh, and this will minimize all the windows for us. So here's my file browser. If I click on my home right here, we're always logging in as IR Game Player. That way, when I log in here and I start a server, now when you come along and log in and you start a server, you're going to see my server running here, and then I'll see your server running. So we'll be able to manage each other's servers, and you think that you don't want that you would have different areas, but what happens is when you go to restart the server for some reason, or if something's going on, you're trying to edit a shared file, if it might be locked in the other player or the other user. So so I've just come to the realization that yeah, there's some downfalls with sharing the same desktop, but this is probably the best way to use it. So anyways, in IR Game Player, this is our, just like you have a My Documents in your Windows, you have downloads, pictures, whatever, and these are the servers that we're going to be running. We have a TeamSpeak. This is Steam Command to install some other servers from Steam, and in our servers folder is all the servers that I'm running up here. There's another Steam Command. All right, well, you know, if I download something from the internet, it'll be in the downloads folder. I can share some documents here. So the way I'm going to start a server, I'm going to start the ARMA 3 server. And I open up now I'm in the folder right here. And if I want to edit any of the files, such as the start files, in Linux you use a .sh file as a shell script. But if I want to edit this server config, it opens up automatically with gedit. It's a nice little code editor, and I can edit it and save it. One thing about Linux that is better than Windows, I believe, is you can edit the files while they're in use. So, so you don't have to stop the server to edit the files. Which kind of contradicts what I was saying earlier about shared files, not being able to edit them. That was on our Windows server. We were using Windows, and some people would be running one server, and I'd try to start a server, and it's like it just wouldn't work right. And that was because their server was using some of the shared files, and they were locked. So, to start the server, you can click on this if you want, but it's not going to open up. It should execute in terminal, but it doesn't really work right, because there's actually options that you need to give with that server. So if you'd hit Tools, open up the current folder. So whatever folder you're in, it opens up in the terminal. So now I'm in this ARMA 3 folder, and if I type list, this is the same files that are right here. And to execute a file, you have to do, in Linux, use a period and a slash and then the file name, because that tells it to search in this folder, the current folder for this file name. Then starts right up here, and the server's running. Now, what I would like to do is keep these windows going open. You keep them open. See, we don't need that one. And if we keep one terminal with all the servers, see, I could get a new tab. New tab. Now I can have multiple tabs, and this can be my new terminal. This, and I can rename these. Name tab. ARMA 3 server. And now, there we go. Now I'm running it right down here. I got the terminal, and there's no reason to minimize it. You can keep it right here. One of the great things about Linux is it has multiple desktops. Click down here. There's desktop 1, and it shows you that there's an open window. So, and I can move this, send to desktop, home. Now it's over here on this first desktop. So we don't need to have things closed, because you can just move them to a desktop. Move this to the last desktop, and we ideally should rename these desktops for, you know, this last one should be named servers, running servers, and then you would have all your running servers right here, and you can have them in a new, you want to start a new server, you just create a new tab, and name your tab, you know, ARMA 2. And then we would start that server right here. Same way. You know, alternatively, we don't have to do this. We could keep one for each one, one window for each one. The only issue there is I can't rename this terminal So I can't tell what it's running. So really, if you start a server, even if we're gonna keep the servers in each terminal here, you really need to have a new tab, and then make sure that this has its name. You don't have to use the second tab, but just by keeping this, now we know what server this is running. So it's minimized right here. I'm not going to see it on the other. It doesn't even show up down here in the whatever was running on that desktop. So like here's where the where these were running. But I think that's the best way, is to keep these open. You don't have to minimize them. Just put them on one desktop, keep it open, open up a new tab so that you can name this one. And there we go. Now to stop the server, all you do is you click on this here and press Control-C. And now it's stopped. And you see it's back at the command prompt. To restart it again, I can do the up arrow and it shows the last command, and Arma 3 server, and there it is. Now, this is running Linux, so I'm going to show you how I would transfer files. I use the other program that I showed you up here under Apps, the Bitvice SSH client, and that looks like this right here. Host, and you type in your username, IR Game Player, and you click on right here. Initial method will be none. Click on password, type in your password, and just hit login. And no such host is known. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you get those errors. It'll time out and you just have to click it again. And you'll see what it opens. It opens up a terminal here, just like we have right here. It opens up a terminal there, list, pwd. Alright, I'm in my home folder, of course. cd servers, cd Arma 3, and I'm right here. I could start the server from here. I could stop it from here. Whatever I need is just, it gives you this command prompt without having to log into the VNC. But the other thing about this is the FTP program. It has an SSH FTP. You can't drag files over here, but I can go wherever I want and drag files. Let's see, where's my desktop? There's my desktop. So now when I look on VNC, there's that file that I just transferred. So that's how you can easily transfer files into the Linux server. And that's about it. Let's see, to join the game, make sure that this Arma 3, here's my Arma 3 when I do a remote, one IR server, port 2302, there it is, join, and you can see on the VNC server, it said I connected right here. Oops. And here's my menu, where I can play some CTF games, Wasteland, co-ops, and then you have vote. Takes 32 seconds for the other people to vote. Of course, I'm the only one playing, so it should pass. And then I'll be playing the dynamic survival. So that's it.